let's talk about if Kris Bryant would be a good fit for the Phillies. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Sensitive Media, and today we're going to be talking about if Kris Bryant would be a good fit for the Phillies. And I guess before getting into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please don't engage the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Third baseman Kris Bryant out on the free agent market after finishing out half of the season with the San Francisco Giants after being traded over from the Chicago Cubs midway through the season. I'm really not that big of a fan right now. Now, first of all, this video was requested by a viewer of mine, so shout out to the person that requested it. I'm looking for things to talk about, especially since this line gets ongoing. So I appreciate you giving me a topic of discussion to talk about, and I think this is a good one, right? This is a name that the Phillies have been connected to for some time now. I think it's important I talk about him. What my thoughts are, possibly him, being a good fit here. Do I like the way his career has gone? Kris Bryant, a big name, and there's no question about that. 2015 NL Rookie of the Year, 2016, NL MVP. It's something special, when you could follow up your Rookie of the Year by winning an MVP award. Of course, Ryan Howard did that in 05 and then, won his MVP in 06, and, it's pretty crazy. But he hasn't been that same player since then. He has not. 2018 wasn't great, where he hit, 272 compared to, to 295 in 2017. So I'm not really going to go look at average too much. A short season in 2020, he hit 206. He's not what he once was, the 2016 NL MVP. He's not. He's not at all. The power, isn't something phenomenal. Career high 39 home runs in this MVP here in 2016. I think he's overrated. And I understand, yes, he did battle injuries in 2020 when he hit 206, and he only played in 34 of the 60 games that were played. That was just abysmal. And, a 34-game sample in 2020 at 206 average. Seriously, with only 4 home runs. That's just definitely not impressive. In 2021, just okay. It was definitely above average of 25 home runs, 73 RBIs, only 265 batting average. It's not something you would pay, big money for. It's not something you open up the bank and say, I'm going to pay this guy, 7 years, 250. I'm not doing that, right? Okay. I'm not doing. Take a look at, him getting traded over the San Francisco Giants, and granted, that is not an easy place to play. That is not an easy place to play at all. That is a hitter's worst nightmare. It's nearly impossible to hit the ball, a home run to the opposite field if you're a right-handed hitter. Nearly impossible to get out of McCovey Cove if you're a right-handed hitter. It's so hard to hit it the other way. That's just not a very, hitter-friendly ballpark. Not at all. But he's only there half a season. It wasn't like, he played his whole career there. He was just there for a brief stint. He did play in the windy city of Chicago, which is, very easy. If the wind's blowing out, of course, the wind's blowing in, it's a totally different story. But if the wind is blowing out, it is a very, very easy place to go yard. He's not giving you 295 anymore, ladies and gentlemen. He's not. He's not giving you, the 292 in his MVP year. And as I said, he hit 3 points higher in his follow-up year, but he has not been that same player. I'm going to even say since 2018. Where he hit 272. I'm not going to live and die by batting average, but, not great. A WRC plus of 148 in 2016, WRC plus of 147 in 2017. You want to know what his WRC plus was in 2021? 123. That's somewhat of a drop-off right there. We went from 148 in his MVP year to 123. So that's a 25-point difference, ladies and gentlemen. He's not bad. I'm not saying that Kris Bryant is bad, but he's about to be paid like he's a superstar, and he's not a superstar. He's not. He's about to be paid like he's a superstar, but he's not. And that's the problem I have with it. You go take this Woba, his MVP year, 396, actually higher in 2017. His follow-up year to his MVP year when it sat at 399, and back in 2021, it was at 356. And you go take a 2020 small single size, it sat at 285. No question, he's not the same player. I've kind of already proved that since 2016, 2017, because honestly, they're very, very comparable years. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And you want to go take a look at WAR, which is a stat that, is definitely, very, very well versed. I mean, his WAR was 1.2 points better in 2016 than it was in, his follow-up year in 2017, when it started in 2016, 7.9. I mean, that's a very, very good WAR right there. I mean, his MVP season in 2016 definitely was a good one. As I said, his follow-up to his MVP year, 6.7. That's also, pretty good. You want to go take a look at his WAR in 2021, 3.6. 3.6 compared to his MVP, 7.9. And you're going to go look at his follow-up year in 2017, 6.7. So it's different, ladies and gentlemen. It is different. And this is why I think the Phillies need to stay away from Kris Bryant. Now, there's a connection here. Bryce Harper, the reigning NL, MVP in the National League for the Phils, and really the only reason why the Phillies even were remotely, even maybe close to making it to the playoffs. Him and Harper went to the same high school, grew up in the Las Vegas area. I mean, they're good friends. Of course, he'd love to have Kris Bryant come here, right? I mean, they're good friends. There's a connection, and if he would be willing to take a good discount and, slot in the left field, I think it could work. But, there's a lot of, options out in left field, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle Schwarber, Michael Conforto on a bounce back here, possibly. Nick Castellanos is definitely too expensive, and he also has the draft pick attached to him as well because he opted out of his contract with Cincinnati Reds. But the center field is a gaping hole. We'll talk about that more on Saturday. You're going to put him at third base and, boot Alec Bohm? I don't think so. Jack Fritz is on here, a couple weeks ago, topic in discussion with DH coming to the National League. It is inevitable. It will happen. Especially with this new CBA being negotiated, of course, I'm not worried about the season being delayed. And the Phillies already have two DHs, which is, very interesting. Rhys Hoskins and Alec Bohm. Both, not very good defenders and two guys that they definitely could put there. I also believe if the DH comes to National League, they, slot Alec Bohm in the DH spot and, sign Kris Bryant and make him the everyday third baseman. That is definitely a possibility. It's a real possibility. Or you slot him out in left field, and let Alec Bohm, continue to man third base, which is I'm not a huge fan of. I'm definitely more comfortable with Rhys Hoskins at first than I am at Alec Bohm at third. I'll say that right now. I'm going to say that right now. I am definitely more comfortable with Rhys Hoskins at first than I am Alec Bohm at third. But honestly, there's some room here for Kris Bryant. I definitely will say that. There's definitely it definitely could work. I'm not a big fan of the possibility of him coming here for those reasons. As I said, he's not the same player. I remember Hunter Brody was on here, Broads Media, friend of the pod. He was on here in August, and we were talking about Kris Bryant. I think his name came up, and he made an excellent point, a point that I've already said like 3 times in this video. He's not giving you MVP Kris Bryant anymore, ladies and gentlemen. He's not. His WAR is, dropped off dramatically, as I just said. Is it 7.9, sounded 3.6. So definitely, that's a dramatic change right there. Yeah, I know he hasn't been the healthiest player. I think it's important I say that. And you could take a look at FanGraph projections, which, again, predictions mean absolutely nothing. They predicted Harper. They didn't like the 240s in 2021. So I don't really value, the projections too much. If you want to go take a look at projections, they have been hitting 23 home runs, this season now, with a 251 average and a 2.7 WAR. That's not anything special. That's just, middle of the road there, right there, ladies and gentlemen. How many players, throughout Major League Baseball can easily top 23 home runs? Quite a lot. Quite a lot. Kris Bryant isn't really anything special in my book. If you go take a look at his years prior, I definitely think he's a special player. I'm going to say it for the millionth time, he's not that same guy anymore. Could he, possibly, show sense of it occasionally? Absolutely. And he's also 30 years old, so he's not getting any younger. Of course, no one's getting any younger. But you know my point. He's just turned 30 years old. Yesterday was his birthday, so that was on January 4th, which is kind of funny. So we're just talking about how weird is that? Yesterday was Kris Bryant's 30th birthday. I'm just not the biggest fan of the possibility. If we can get him on a relatively, team-friendly deal, and an objective, it won't even be a team-friendly deal because it's the market value of what he's worth. I can't believe that him and Scott Boras turned down $250 from the Cubs. Of course, that was back in the day when he was still putting up, a decent WAR and, still performing at a fairly high level. But man, I'm sure he's kicking the sand after that one right now. I'm sure he is very, very bummed out that he turned down $250 million from the Chicago Cubs. I'm sure he's not too happy about that, but of course hindsight is 2020. Another thing he's been, pretty consistent with as well is the walk percentage. I mean, walk percentage is 10.7 in his MVP year, and you go to his walk percentage last year, 10.6. So it's only point difference. It's really really not even that significant. So it's a little bit different. I mean, he had a 385 OBP compared to a 353 OBP. But he gets on base a decent amount. I will say that. But looking at the slugging percentage, I mean, a really big dramatic difference here. I mean, not huge, but 481 slugging percentage 2021 compared to 554. And you go to it in 2017, 537. It's not like the guy's hitting 220, with a 400 slugging percentage. 41's no slouch, but it's not that same guy. Because you know what, ladies and gentlemen, people keep thinking, they hear the name Kris Bryant because it's a big name. They're like, oh my gosh. And you automatically think of the 2016 Kris Bryant. But he's not there anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I understand you could have made the argument for Bryce Harper back, last year before he won 2021 NL MVP. 2019, the year where he hit 260. But also Harper has a better OBP. Harper has a better OPS. Harper's just a better player than this guy, so you can't really compare that. Of course, you might think to yourself, oh well, you could have made that argument for Bryce Harper, but you really couldn't. Notice that I'm talking in past tense. After Harper's, amazing 2021 campaign, you go to his OPS, 939 is MVP here in 2016, followed it up in 17 with a 946 OPS. You go to his OPS in 2021, 835. I mean, Harper's a guy, even in 2019, even in 2020. People called it a down year, and Bryant's OPS 835 compared to MVP year. I mean, it was 100 points lower, 96 points lower. So that's very significant. So those numbers prove that. I do not really love the idea of the Phillies signing Kris Bryant. I think he's overrated. I think he's a decent player. He has okay defense. But I'm not the biggest Kris Bryant fan. I like him because of the Harper connection. I like him as a person, and I sort of like him as a player. I just think he's a little overrated. I do not have a personal vendetta against Kris Bryant. Of course I don't. I'm Bryce Harper. I'm a huge Bryce Harper fan, and him and Harper are close. So I definitely am a fan of Kris Bryant, but not with the price that he's supposed to get. I'm not a big fan of that. So the numbers that he's put up are maybe 17 mil a year. Maybe close to 20. I mean not anything more than that. Not anything more than that. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, check out the social media, link in the description section. At Phillies Hat Still Media, Instagram, Telegram, Instagram, call or text 267-225-392. Email PhilliesHatStillMedia@gmail.com. Comment down below. Do you think the Phillies will land Kris Bryant? Comment your thoughts. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on Saturday. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. I'll see you guys.